Hi guys, this is Antrozix here and I'm back with another Manga Haul video. Now some stuff I just got recently, and there's one thing here I have that I actually got about roughly 2 months ago, but I just kind of forgot to do a video on it, and so I thought I'd just shove it in with this video as well. So the first thing I got uh, is the second volume of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Now I got the first one. I think it was November of last year. I could be wrong. And then I loved the first volume, and I was trying to get some more volumes of it, and I just recently got around to getting volume 2 of the manga. I haven't checked out the anime yet. I've seen the trailer and I've seen some clips for the anime, and I think it looks really good. But yeah, I just love this idea, this story. With the main character basically losing most of his family except his sister turned into a demon. Spoilers if you haven't read the first volume or seen the anime. But yeah, I like the idea, and I'm definitely gonna be picking up more volumes of this series. I think it's a really good series. So that's Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Volume 2. Next up, we have another Volume 2 of another manga series I have that I actually got into through the anime, and that is Nura Rise the Yokai Clan. I've seen all 2 seasons of the anime of this, and that, which I believe only covered volumes 1 to 16. And there's roughly about 25 volumes of the manga in total. So it's unfortunate that there was never season 3 to wrap up the anime, but yeah. So I had to go ahead and pick up the manga, and I didn't notice, but the anime actually changed around some chapters in the anime. What would, like, the chapter 1 of volume 1 is technically, I think it's like the first half of season 2 episode 1. So the anime did take some liberties in rearranging some stuff or removing some stuff altogether. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what was changed in the anime compared to this manga version of it. And I think what's interesting, that is, when you collect all the volumes, they make up one continuous image. Just putting volume 1 there beside it, you can see it creates one continuous image. Then absolutely love that idea. I think more manga should do this, because I think it's a really cool idea, and you could easily just stack them. If you had the room and the patience to do, you could easily just stack them up on the wall, and create like a canvas or a poster on your wall. I think it's really cool. So that's Nura Rise the Yokai Clan Volume 2. Next up, we have a series that I actually came across. I think it was roughly a year before the anime came out, and I have seen some clips of the anime, and I thought it was a really refreshing take on the whole romance, comedy, even harem esque kind of manga, and that is the Quintessential Quintuplets. Now I have read volume 1. Um, just a brief summary of what the series is basically the main character, Futuro Uesugi. He's from a very poor family. He's also sort of a loner at school, and his father eventually gets him a job tutoring these 5 sisters who are all quintuplets. And at first he finds it extremely difficult to try and tutor them because they don't want to be tutored. And eventually they come around one by one. Like the first one who's willing to let him tutor her is Yotsuba, the green ribbon, and he eventually eventually gets them all to accept that they do need help, and um, he's there to help them when they need the help that they require. Um, so yeah, I think it's a really interesting story because it actually starts off with about, I think it's like roughly 5 years into the future of the main story, and he's getting married to one of the quintuplets, but due to the way the bride is dressed up in her bridal outfit and the way her hair is done, you can't tell which quintuplet it is because they all obviously all look the same, except with different hairstyles and all that. But you never know which one it is, and it's obviously the series is trying to build up who he ends up with. Um, but yeah, I think it's a really interesting idea because you do know he ends up with one of them. But I think it's also good that because the author decided to go with quintuplets, he left the option open there to choose whichever character he wants for Futuro to end up with. Um, and each girl gets a good number of chapters dedicated to her. So like it's not like one girl is prioritized over another. They all pretty much get an equal amount of day in the limelight, if you want to say, So yeah, that is volume one. This is the only one I've read so far. I think I've just started volume two. Yeah, here's volume two. I've only just really started this one, and on the front cover we got the oldest quintuplet sister, and that is Ichika. She's kind of the more laid back, kind of flirty of the sisters. Um, so yeah, and she's like from what I can get her, because I did do some research in the series beforehand. She seems to be kind of more of the obsessive of the sisters as well, because she does some very questionable stuff trying to get Future all to herself. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure how much about that is true, but I'm gonna keep reading this series to find out. So that's volume two. Next up, we have volume three with the second sister, which is Nino. Um, Nino is kind of more like how to put it, like she's kind of more stuck up, kind of full of herself. She doesn't want the help. She doesn't think she needs it, and in the first volume, she actually drugs Fushiro and sends him home because she doesn't want to be tutored by him. She doesn't want to be tutored at all, in fact. Now, apparently, she does change her tune in the series in a couple of volumes after this. So yeah, I'd love to see what happens with her character. That is volume three with Nino on the front cover. And the final volume I have of the Quintessential Quintuplets for the meantime is volume four. Sorry for the jump cut there. My dog was going crazy, so I just had to calm him down. Continuing on, this is volume four, and on the front cover we have Miku, who is the shy, quiet loner of the sisters. She's also heavily interested in Japanese warlords, a fact that she's quite embarrassed about because she thinks that should be seen as weird for being interested in in all Japanese warlords, and I believe she even has the crest of a well-known character in Japanese history. I can't remember the name, but there's a character, I believe later on in the manga, who has the same surname as this historical character. But yeah, from what I've seen of just reading volume one and seeing clips and trailers of the anime, Miku is my favorite. I just love her design. I think it's really cool. Um, if there's any one of the sisters I want Futuro to end up with, it'd have to be her. Um, like I believe she was even the most popular of the sisters over here in the West. Um, and I think she's a good chance of being the bride that we see during the flash forward segments in the series. And she, from what I can gather, she eventually comes out of her shell more, and um, there's numerous times she tries to build up her confidence to kind of confess to Fushiro, and it's, she's trying her hardest, and she's trying to be more confident in herself, and she's getting there. It's slowly but surely, but yeah, I think she's one of my favorite characters because of that. Because she's for me personally, out of the sisters, she grows quite a bit in terms of character development. Like I know the other sisters do as well. Like I believe becomes much more kinder, um, and Yotsuba eventually becomes much more willing to say no, because in the beginning of the series um, she's more like the yes person. She can't turn down an offer of help, but eventually Yotsuba finds a way to say no and try and look after herself. Um, but for me personally, as I said, Miku's my favorite because uh, I just love her character. So that's volume 4 of the Quintessential Quintuplets with Miku on the front cover. And finally, we have a big volume. This is a series I've been wanting to get into for quite some time. I have seen I guess, more summarized movies of one of the arcs in the series, and I've also seen the 2016 slash 2017 like anime of it, which I can tell you both weren't that quite good at all. Um, Especially the 2016 2017 anime, because they decided to go with CG animation instead of more traditional animation. Um, but then I heard that the series was being re-released in a more hardcover deluxe format, and each like deluxe hardcover is going to contain like 3 volumes each. So I picked up uh, in frame there. I picked up the deluxe hardcover volume 1 of Berserk, which contains volumes 1 to 3 of the original manga, and I actually looked up comparisons between the original manga and this version of it, and the original manga actually cut off some bits because of the format, the size format they went with, and there's some text you couldn't see, or there were some images that were just kind of cut off or whatnot. But this one kind of remedies that and gives it a much bigger format, which I believe is Kentaro Miura's preferred format when he's doing the series. Um, but yeah, this volume is just incredibly beautiful. The hardcover is amazing. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. The paper quality is amazing. Like I was honestly surprised how good this was. And I believe Volume 2 is already out. I haven't had the chance to get Volume 2, but I hope to at some point whenever I get the chance. But yeah, this is one beautiful way to get to collect this series of Berserk, because it's one of the most amazing manga series I've ever come across, and I really hope that if we do get an anime, because I believe is it Adi Shankar? Yeah, the guy who produced the Castlevania like animated series on Netflix. I believe he said that if he got the rights to the Berserk series, he would do an incredibly faithful adaptation of the manga in animated form, using more traditional animation similar to what they did with Castlevania. Um, and I really hope that he does get the rights, because I think he did an amazing job producing and bringing together such an amazing project that was Castlevania in animated form. I believe it's the most successful like TV show movie adaptation of a video game series of all time. So I really hope he gets the rights to it. Because I was never interested in the Castlevania games, but when I watched the animated series, it blew me away. So I absolutely hope he gets the rights to Berserk. Also, I just thought I'd throw this in the end. This is my manga collection so far. I know it's not the biggest collection, but I really only got into this at roughly about, oh god, I want to say maybe 2 3 years ago, and I've been getting manga whenever I've had the chance to get it. It's getting there slowly but surely. Like I've got to get more volumes of what I have here, such as Black Clover, Demon Slayer, Dragon's Rioting, Kaguya-sama Love is War, Monster Musume, My Hero Academia, Nura is the Yokai Clan, The Elder Sister Like One, The Quintessential Quintuplets, Tomo-chan's Girl, and Yuna the Hunter Hot Spring. And hopefully I can get more series at some point in the future, because this is something originally I was never big into manga. If I can be honest, I was never a big comic fan either. I just didn't like the way that like like the way comics were formatted, and for some reason I just thought the manga was the same, but it's actually different. Because in comics, it's like multiple stories featuring characters, and it's never most of them, from what I can tell, are pretty much standalone, and some aren't. Whereas manga, I feel, is kind of more linear, because you got the Berserk series as one continuous series. Same with all these other volumes I have here. Like they're all like one continuous series. Whereas, like, if you look at DC or Marvel, usually they have loads of standalone stories, and they don't really follow like one linear, like universe. I guess I can say. I don't want to put it besides that. Like, I just feel like manga is more accessible, um, to me anyway, than American, like, than Western comics are. If I can be absolutely honest with you. But yeah, that is my collection so far. Thanks for watching.